a trophy.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Midlife Krisis. Uncle Bob and I, we've stayed in the arcade configuration. We're going to play yet another terrible fighting game that somehow has its hooks and its misguided charms.
Are there nudalities in this one, Brian?
No, there's not. However, there are...
Going in the wrong direction, Brian.
I'm not going to argue that. It is an inarguable thing. But what I am going to say about this next one is that it is the sequel to Shogun Warriors, which I've already showed on this channel. I don't have a board of this one. I probably won't ever get a board of this one because it's a little too pricey for what it is, which is a terrible fighting game. But let's paint that picture. You tried Tattoo Assassins. I'll make sure that one gets released before this one does.
Good. Or bad.
Yeah, good or bad, depending on your point of view. So this game is definitely on the same tip. So it's a Mortal Kombat clone. It came out around the same time. It features some of the weirdest humans in costume digitization I think you're ever going to see. Like, well, I'll let them speak for themselves when we get there. But this one was released. This is not a prototype game like Tattoo Assassins. The fine immortal people at Kaneko Games made this and released it for public consumption. The makers of Shogun Warriors, dare I even say the Gal's Panic series, if you know, you know. Are you familiar with Gal's Panic at all?
I don't know.
Did you? Okay. Another question. Did you ever spend any time, like, and I mean serious time, like going through MAME and playing a bunch of arcade games? Was that anything that you ever did? Okay.
And if I did, well, I mean, everybody has their first experience with MAME, but I would, of course, only look for the stuff that I knew, that I remember playing as a kid, and then just play that again. I would never be like, oh, this game sounds weird. What is this? That's something I would never try.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
We just have differing tastes. The Venn diagrams only have a small overlap.
So when MAME was first a thing, and I was when MAME was first a thing, when MAME complete ROM sets were first being shared around online through things like BitTorrent and even like eMule. That's when I got a full MAME list, and the one that I have is, I'm sure, outdated. As a matter of fact, I know it is. There's a lot of, one of the things that I love about this weirdo hobby is stuff like Tattoo Assassins, games that you were never meant to play. Like, you were literally never supposed to play that game, but because of things like MAME, we're able to.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Star Fox 2 is a really famous example. Yep. People for years and years and years were able to play Star Fox 2 because of pirates and emulation and ROM dumps and all that shit.
Oh, even in recent years, I didn't even know that the NES port of SimCity existed. And then you told me that, and then I went online and it's there.
Fun fact, and this is going to sound like I'm lying because it's one of those very famous lies, but friend of the show, Graham, was legitimately invited to go play SimCity, the NES version, at Nintendo because he lived really close to
because his uncle worked there, so it was
his uncle didn't work there. He just happened to know someone who may have been someone else's uncle. All right, it could have been someone else's uncle.
Yeah.
But he lived very close to Nintendo headquarters, and that's not like a myth or a rumor. That's something that they did all the time. They would have kids from the local areas go and play test their games because it's fucking free. Your games usually are better, and it's Nintendo. Like, of course you're going to do that.
Can you imagine if we lived in Washington during this time? Like, we would have never made it to middle school.
No, I would have been
elementary school dropouts.
I would have been slapped with so many stalking citations. We don't want you in here, buddy. You were in here one time and you ruined it because you kept wanting to hug everything. So you're not allowed back anymore.
I know you think camping on the sidewalk is legal. It's not legal.
My mom said I can do it. Okay, I birdwalked all over the place, but this is back to shitty fighting games. So this one was released. I think the idea was Shogun Warriors was a Street Fighter 2 clone. The sequel to that Street Fighter 2 clone was a Mortal Kombat clone. So that's Kaneko's creative empire firing on all cylinders. Oh yeah, I birdwalked off of MAME. What I wanted to say about that was Kaneko made this series of games called Gal's Panic, which is basically Qix, Q-I-X, that arcade game.
That game is great.
So the magic of Gal's Panic is that they had zero respect for copyright laws. Like you can select characters, and some of the characters are Saddam Hussein, RoboCop, the Terminator. Like just full likenesses, and they just didn't give a shit or pay any money for them. Yeah. And these are like release products, but it was like a a semi-porno kind of a game.
Oh man,
where you would cut out the drawing and the drawing would be like a naked babe.
the idea of the Iraqi government filing a lawsuit to enforce the copyright of Saddam Hussein.
They took it very seriously when it came to Gals Panic. Yeah. So the game that you're about to play was basically funded on the backs of the Gals Panic series because Kaneko made a lot of money putting these games in truck stops in Japan. Like just full stop. That's what they did.
Got it.
And they made some other good games. Like Airbuster is actually a really, really good shooter.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to rent a game called Deadly Moves on the Genesis, which is a bad fighting game that I have a lot of nostalgia for. So that leads me to Blood Warriors, which is...
Good name.
Come on.
Yeah, off to a good start.
So we'll do that. And then we're going to go ahead and appear right here.
Digitized graphics. This looks familiar.
Yes, it certainly does look very familiar.
Bad frame rates.
Everything you want. Everything you want. In a... Oh, I think I put too many coins in too fast. It's fine. It's fine.
The first thing you do is break the game.
Everything's going to be fine. Well, I broke MAME, not the game. Push start here. There you go. So let's take a look at these characters. We've got funny ceramic headman. We've got giant ninja starback guy.
Oh, Ninja Turtle.
That's a kappa, which is a Japanese mythological creature. Got a evil samurai. So these characters, samurai and this guy, they're straight from Shogun Warriors. Kabuki actor. This is some sort of not evil ninja. And then you have Goemon. So those are your moves.
Wow, I didn't really pay attention.
Don't worry about it. You're not going to like it, so it's okay. Mash buttons as you do. The fatalities in the game are, if I remember right, you just walk up to them and push a button.
Well, I can tell you right away, the gameplay is significantly better than
it definitely plays better than Tattoo Assassins. There's no question about that. And for what this is, like, there is a lot worse playing bad fighting games. This one gets lumped in with those just because it is such an egregious clone of Mortal Kombat. But they're at least trying. They spent money on costumes. Like, they did.
Did they?
I mean, not a lot of money, but they spent more money than Mortal Kombat 1, that's for sure.
They went to some garage sales.
So you just exploded my head
that's cool. I'm happy with that.
Shower of blood.
I'm happy with that.
No, that's one thing. Look, okay, Ed Boon and John Tobias et al., I don't think they really knew how big of a hit Mortal Kombat was going to be. Yeah. And they were only given so much money and so much time to make that game. So when you see things like Sub-Zero and Scorpion being an obvious palette swap, Sonya Blade's wearing like aerobics clothes.
Yeah.
Like
she came straight from yoga to the fighting arena.
Kano's mask is like aluminum foil. Like they didn't spend any money on that stuff. And in this game, like they obviously did. There's like makeup, there's costuming, all that shit. Now, is that gonna make millions of sales? No, it's not.
Oh, and again,
exploded my head again.
Boy, I'm so good at this.
Finish me. Look, I'm just leaking blood.
I can't.
Just walk up and there you go.
That was all right.
So now it's just a geyser of blood.
Yeah, all right. The more blood, the merrier.
Amen. Yeah, so this game is more... It feels... Look at that picture. There's another...
Winner indeed. Winner in life.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pick Ceramic Head Guy because he's great. Think you're stuck on Kabuki actor?
Okay. Shishimano.
EQ.
Malo.
Oh. Take that. My head grows. Yes.
Yo, look at this reaction time by me.
So there's some technical things I want to point out with this game because no one else on the internet is giving it any compliments. There's really nice parallaxing scrolls, like the backgrounds are multi-layered, so they have depth. Yes. That's something that
it's true.
A lot of other bad fighting games didn't have.
So they spend the development time doing that, but it couldn't give the background actors more than 3 frames of animation.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand. You see, this is going to be on like a 32 megabit mask ROM, so you got to cut corners somewhere.
No, you don't.
This isn't Street Fighter 3. Come on. Yes.
Oh my.
Now
so
I explode your head.
Oh boy. Oh no, that's not good.
Oh. Yeah, let's talk about the name Blood Warrior, by the way. Again, put your 15-year-old dipshit hat on. You're walking by an arcade marquee. It says Blood Warrior.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no question you're playing this game.
Yeah, of course. Blood Warrior, Blood Sport. I mean,
yeah.
I know what I'm expecting.
Oh, real quick gripe I have with Mortal Kombat 1. So there's a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage. And and it's Jean-Claude Van Damme voice acted by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it's young It's young 1987 blood sport Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay.
Peak of his powers.
Yeah.
Only way to get him was to buy the $100 version of fucking Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Which I would have done had I done the research. But there's currently no way for me to get him. So I have to wait, like other, DLC celebrity endorsements. I have to wait until the money gate comes down and I can buy it.
Me.
Oh, take that, dummy.
Wait, so you would have gotten it, but you didn't know about it. Now
I knew it was a thing. Like, because they released a trailer and I was as excited as you could possibly be for something. But then
how do I get it?
I assumed that I would be able to buy it on the store for in excess of $100, whatever it is. I would have paid for it. But the fact that it's not, like, that sucks. There's no option for me to buy it right now.
Okay, so even if you wanted it, you couldn't get it.
Yeah, so I have to wait until the privilege to spend money on Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I really hope they never make it available.
Well, then I'm spending $100 on another copy of Mortal Kombat. You got to do what you got to do. You don't understand. He's dressed like he was in Bloodsport, and he's got the schoolboy haircut with the part.
Yeah, the school.
It's peak powers. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Do they have him doing?
Oh, both our heads exploded.
But you're still alive.
Mine came back together. Yeah. It's fine.
But do they have him doing lines from the movie?
Well, he quit doing cocaine a long time ago. No, I don't think so.
Into that.
I don't think he does. But it's him acting, and he says cool shit like, "Are you okay?" Or "I wasn't going to steal it." That's actually young boy Frank Dukes.
Frank Dukes.
What kind of a deal?
You think we could get Frank Dukes on the show?
Yeah, for like $1,000.
Oh,
Frankie don't work for free. You think he's an idiot? He won Kumite. He won
several times, right?
Yeah, and the trophies he gets new trophies every so often.
Yeah,
because that's how important the win was.
Doesn't he have the record for fastest knockout too?
Fastest KO, fastest kick.
Fastest kick.
Go onto the official Kumite website, and you'll see he's got a 90-mile-per-hour kick.
There's somebody there in whatever Southeast Asia with a radar gun at the tournament.
Yep. Wow, that's a fast kick. Put him in the book.
Oh, you get your fatality chance here? Yeah.
Yep. Button. Oh. So I'm noticing every fatality is that. Every fatality is upper torso explodes.
Hello. Hello and welcome to my bloody pit of darkness and evil ritual sacrifice. I am the dark spirit they call and I come from Transylvania, Eastern Europe. This next song is the most evil song. It is about raining of acid and blood down to the graveyard, and the demons come up through the ground and tear the skin and the toenails and the ripping of the blood.
Yeah. Wait.
I'm having a bunch of fun, and I got a backpack full of books. Going down the road with a backpack full of books. telling me to go away. Mr. Officer just got a backpack full of books of learning about the Dark Lord, how to serve him with sacrifice. Mr. Officer Man, why don't you read one of my good books about the devil? Teach you how to shoplift and smoke cigarettes. Be a badass, not a fucking cop. That cop shit's for nerds. Going down the road, the cop was much tougher than me. He said, get the fuck out of my town. I said, yes, sir. 'Cause I'm afraid of confrontations with the law. So I rolled on to another town with my backpack full of books. Devil books. Yeah.
I could be wrong. There could be other things to do.
This game was actually released, unlike the last game, right?
It was released, but it's important to note, never ported to any system. And same with Shogun Warriors, the prequel to this game. They just a lot of fighting games of this era were stuck to the arcade and never got ports. Which is another reason why I'm so into MAME and arcade collecting in general, because a lot of this stuff is very unique.
And what would you do without games like this in your life?
I don't know. I mean, I really genuinely don't know. I would probably be really depressed. But luckily they exist, so I'm not.
I don't have to think about that.
I don't have to think about that
world.
horrible dystopia.
Oh, that
was pretty sweet.
Great move.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Kasumi, all right.
I like your Wolverine claws, Kasumi. Hey, you're a lawyer. Why don't you Kasumi?
That's great.
Please don't sue me. I can't afford it. Let's see. Look at those guys. They're so pumped. Those guys are so pumped to be there.
Wow! Wow! Wow!
They were told they won't get a return bus trip if they don't show their all.
It's the same thing I always wonder, Ryan. It's like, where do they get those extras?
Banning?
Maybe that's the same actress who did Kasumi. It's like they just changed her hair. And then, okay.
Kill me!
Yeah,
oh, that was different.
Yeah.
Oh, look, guts. Look at that. There's guts.
Yeah.
I love guts.
They went the extra mile for that one.
Guts.
Oh my. Oh.
She's just happy to be here. She's just happy to be here.
Hello.
Kinshiro.
All right. How much longer do I have to be subjected to this?
That's a fair point. I'm not quite sure. Intrusion. I'm intruding on you. Let's see. I'm going to do Samurai Guy. Let's take a gander here.
Still got a little bit left.
Still got a little bit to go. Well, okay. So you aren't a big fighting game fan today.
Correct.
But when everyone who played video games was a fighting game fan, because they were the Call of Duty of their day, the Grand Theft Auto of their day, so on and so forth. What were your go-tos?
Okay, I very specifically remember being at a pizza shop on a class trip. Our librarian owned a pizza factory or a pizza store.
Nice.
And so as a school trip, we just went there. A good deal for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, big time. It's like a payola deal.
Yeah, right. And they had Street Fighter 2 there. And as soon as we saw it, everybody knew like our lives were different.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there was just lines and everybody was just trying to play Street Fighter 2. And it was like, oh my God. So that was, of course, the go-to. I've told the story, the Mortal Kombat story on this show before about how unironically, I really think that game pushed me into puberty.
Mm-hmm. Did that for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I did that at Magic Mountain for my 15th birthday. So this would have been April of 95, I guess, was the first time I saw Mortal Kombat. Maybe 94. Or maybe 93 actually. It was my 13th birthday, not my 15th birthday. Sorry.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. You would have played it, and it came out the end of '92.
Okay, so April of '93 is when I first saw it, and that again also changed my life. Seeing Sub-Zero's fatality, I really thought like we were breaking the law by just
Oh yeah,
observing what was going on
Yep.
in the game. So those are my go-tos, and then after that, you go straight to Killer Instinct.
Okay.
And I had read hype for Killer Instinct, and then it lived up to the hype. And I love the combo system. And then I stopped there. I guess on consoles, you could say Clay Fighter I was into.
Okay,
The
yeah.
marketing got me on
I was
Clay
gonna ask.
Fighter.
I was gonna ask. Are there any like off-brand fighting games from the era that you remember enjoying or playing?
Okay, so this is the point I wanted to make because this goes back to the MAME thing and me only playing the games I was familiar with. Do something good here. That was awful.
Was it awful? Ye of little
Very
faith.
good. Very good.
He's also just happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
I get a sandwich.
So I only played the games that I was familiar with
Mm-hmm.
because I was just a marketing whore. I was
Okay.
like, whatever the marketing told me to buy, I
You
was
would
like,
do it.
this is going to be the best. And Clay Fighter had some really good marketing behind it.
And aggressive marketing.
Yeah, and it was a Nintendo Power, of course. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this is going to be the next big fighting game thing. So I'll play that. And but I think that was the only one. Oh, Primal Rage, played a little bit of
Yep.
that in the arcade. I mentioned Time Killers. Anything? Has there been anything at the end of the 90s? Oh, well, the last one. I think my fighting game experience basically ends with the big Dreamcast one.
Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the last fighting game I remember playing a lot of.
Okay. Yeah, Soul Calibur, man, that was the first time I ever saw a video game that looked like noticeably better than an arcade game.
It really was
Mind-blowing.
incredible at the time. Yeah, the leap forward that game was.
Yeah, for me, fighting it, like, because I love them so much as a kid, still love them as an adult. Like, I would just go out of my way to try anyone that I could. If it looked like a fighting game, I would play it.
Now, I do this thing that you would never be caught dead doing, which is watching other people play games that I will never play.
Yes.
So I've watched
I'll never do that.
Yeah, so I've watched like an unhealthy amount of the MOBA scene, even though I've never played a MOBA in my life, just because I'm a competition junkie. But in that same vein, the big fighting game tournament, what's it called?
Evo.
Evo. So I would watch Justin Wong compete at Evo almost every year, and specifically watch like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or watch him play the new Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
And like even that's really fun for me.
It's really fun to watch. I think in video games, like if you're going to watch anything, just watch winners.
Yeah, just
because it's shit that you can't do.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yes, that's right. Well, and then I mean the competition aspect, and Justin Wong in particular is really known for these epic comebacks in fighting games, so we get down to 5% health or whatever. And come back. So all of that is pretty interesting to me, and that's the only way I've sort of stayed aware of the scene. That and just talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
But playing fighting games, no.
Yeah, I still do all the time. Love them. Mortal Kombat 1 right now, playing the shit out of. It's really good.
Well, and you said on the show, Street Fighter
6 was really good. This has been a really, really good year for fighting games.
And there's a Tekken game coming out, right?
In January, yeah.
Okay.
Blood Warrior will not be coming out this year. Sadly, it won't be.
No HD remake.
No HD remake.
With 4K graphics on these wonderful smiles from the actors.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Blood Warrior. I think if it was more accessible because obviously you never saw it in the arcade. I never saw it in the arcade. I'm sure people have their stories of seeing this game in the arcade, but it has a similar vibe. Like Time Killers had this vibe. So your point earlier that you made about like how when you were looking at Mortal Kombat, it looked like something that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
I think that's like a universal feeling, especially of our generation when like we were first exposed to that shit. Now you go like video game violence isn't special anymore.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't. Well, that new Mortal Kombat has really, really, really violent moves that you're just like, I can't believe that's here. But aside from that stuff, because that's what you have to do. Like you have to go so hard into like the grotesque to like make that kind of feeling anymore because we're also desensitized to this shit.
Yeah.
But a game like Blood Warriors has that Time Killers vibe where like it really feels like you're not supposed to be playing it. I love that in a fighting game. I love the borderline taboo nature of this stuff.
So that is fair and good. Of course, it's harder and harder to feel that way the older you get, and the the more mature video games get. You don't see a lot of this kind of exploitative nonsense these days.
No.
Although I guess you did say Mortal Kombat though.
I mean, it's really the only thing. Like, there's smaller games that get released, obviously, and then there is a I'll say illegal amount of violent shit that's on Steam that like it just that's an area where I feel like if I went off into the weeds and started playing like obscure Steam stuff, I would never like get anything done ever, and I would most certainly be put on a list, and all of my information would be stolen from me. And somehow they would like pull Bitcoin from my electrical grid or something.
So for this game, I'll say that it's interesting. This game, the very first thing I said was that it plays better than Tattooed Assassin.
Yes. Yeah.
Significantly better. But I didn't really have as much fun with it because Tattoo Assassins, you don't really care about the gameplay. You're just kind of building up for
it's
the
sizzle.
fatalities.
Yeah. You ordered that steak for the sizzle.
That's all I care about is the sizzle. And this, the fatalities, like we saw 3, that slicing open was pretty cool.
Slicing open was pretty badass.
Yeah, but otherwise there wasn't the thing to look forward to the way that there was in Tattoo Assassins. Of course, this actually has like decent gameplay, so maybe you don't need to have something to look forward to at the end as much as you did.
That's to me like that's kind of the I don't have first of all I don't have an issue with any of these games because like these games they're not games that deserve taking issue with anything. Like they just like they exist, check them out kind of a thing. But the fact that Blood Warrior, it plays decent enough, but then it's not like it's Street Fighter Alpha or anything like that. And it's bloody, but it's like not zany like a Tattoo Assassins or like a Bloodstorm. Yeah. So this game it definitely earned, the reputation that it got in that it's just a completely forgotten game. If it was really exceptionally fun to play, then maybe it's a different story. Or if it went the Tattoo Assassins route and just went really goofy over the top with finishing moves and shit, then it would be more memorable. But it exists in that little window of time when fighting games were the absolute peak of the medium.
What is that window of time? What would you say? 92, I guess, to
92 to 95.
95? Okay.
Yeah, because then after 95 and 96, it gets to like that's when the evolution of fighting games, in my opinion, really takes off. Because then you have the Alpha series is starting. King of Fighters is really finding its stride. So now the games are becoming more complicated to play and to like speak the language of, so to speak. And that's what carried fighting games on into the late 90s, early 2000s when fighting games got really, really exclusive instead of inclusive, which we talked about. All that stuff got fixed with Street Fighter 4, became a much more broad-facing video game product. And I think Capcom has continued on with that. They make Street Fighters now to appeal to as many people as possible, which is a great thing because it means they spend a ton of money on them. And Street Fighter 6 was just fucking incredible. But I miss these games. I miss the B games and the C games. They don't exist anymore. And the ones that do exist are indie games that they're just not made for me. So
too much blue hair.
Well, sometimes not enough blue hair. You never. I mean, they're all over the map. Those things. So anyway, but we'll continue this conversation about this specific thing in a future episode. So come back for that. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your parents, because I think it's fucking funny. Because your parents are probably really old, and they would see that game and be like, "What am I doing with my life? And what do my kids think of me for watching this?"
Yeah, we've got the kids now. We need to rope in their parents.
Yeah, that's right. So just like any other good dealer, we'll be back.